Hello, people. I am looking at some things and I want to read something to you. And please, just bear with me and let me read this. And maybe I'll get some explanation at different points. But just check this out. This is from the Wikipedia encyclopedia, if you will. This has to do with the Constitution encyclopedia, if you will. Um, this has to do with the Constitution and the state of our country, United States of America. And let me just show you where I'm coming from in dealing with this. Be patient with me. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the United States. The Constitution, originally comprising 7 articles, delineates the 7 articles delineates the national frame of government. Its first 3 articles embody the doctrine of the separation of powers, whereby the federal government is divided into 3 branches: the legislative, consisting of the bicameral Congress; the executive, constituting or consisting of the president; and the judicial, consisting of the Supreme Court and other federal courts. Articles 4, 5, and 6 embodied concepts of federalism, describing the rights and responsibilities of state governments and of the states in relationship to the federal government. I love that because I believe in democracy. I believe in our Constitution. And I believe that our Constitution was something inspired by God. I really do. When you look at how it was established and the focus that it had for the people, for the citizens of this country, in which we have seen the bias, the bigotry, the prejudice, and the segregation. And so one race over another, we have seen that. There is nothing mistaken here. No one's delusional, and we know exactly what we see, and history proves it, and the present proves it. And so I went on to say that this whole country reminds me of Star Wars. And I have to give an explanation for that. I know I do, and because some of you probably lying or laughing. Forgive me, laughing. And so Star Wars has to do with a saga, a motion picture that had multiple sagas following. And so what we saw in Star Wars is what I'm saying we see in this country, where the dark side came against the force, and the force represented light, integrity, morality, and respect for one another. And so, yes, they were all in a democracy, and they had a constitution, but the dark side was trying to become a dictatorship, in which they would lord over the people, and yes, tell the people what to do, what not to do, so on and so forth. And if you didn't do it, you would be killed. But then that's how these countries were a long time ago. You know, you did the wrong thing, they cut your hand off, they cut your head off. Well, we're more wiser than that, and so we had the dark side, which was Darth Vader and etc., fighting against the Force, which represent the light. And so, yes, when you watch one of those programs and you saw the chamber where they had all of the different Republicans and Democrats and whoever else that they had in that auditorium, they were all voting against one another, so on and so forth. And so there were wicked people trying to get in office, yeah, so they can dictate. And so we have that same mentality and experience here in the United States of America. So I went on to say, democracy is good. It allows everyone to be individuals, but individualism is being taken away slowly, and we are made to accept unfounded things as normal. Constitution is good because it keeps citizens free, but our liberties are taken from us, and bylaws are created to suppress black people or black people. And yes, that's what we have seen. The whole design is good, but not as it is. In order for this country to become great or begin to look or start growing to become great, certain things must take place. And one of those things is a white, I was listening to a program, and it had this politician on there talking, and he said that, he stated that Obama didn't need to beg pardon for this country. And I'm saying, yes, he did. Because most white people have not or don't think they need to be excused for racism, slavery, and the atrocities that they committed against the Indians and the black people, of course. And so, and said that this country is already great in light of what Trump said, make this country great again, but you can't be great based on the fact or merit of you establishing a democracy. That alone don't make you great. But if you're going to be great, it has to be in respect, only in respect to its citizens, that the democracy, the Constitution protects. So it says, what good is it to have laws no one follows, along with bias, bigotry, prejudice, and racism as its focus? One, the people that are terrorizing this country must be stopped. You're talking about trying to become great. Well, you want to stop this country from being torn down from within. You got to stop the racist people from doing what they're doing, because a lot of the people that have hurt this country, they're white people. Okay? And so, where was I? It said the integrity of this country has been compromised by evil agendas, and the accountability has no stability, and most of the people that are appropriating such evils are organizations such as the KKK, white supremacists, white nationalists, alt-right, ALEC, and neo-Nazi, and every other organization that are racist must be shut down in order for growth in this country. These entities are tearing down this country from within, disregarding and undermining its own constitution and democracy. There was a time when racist white people wore sheets at night and bow ties in the morning. Well, they are still doing it with the mask of deception, presenting themselves as good when they are evil, because our Constitution does not support racist entities. They need to be removed. These are organizations that have moved contrary to our democracy, creating trouble, civil discrimination, bigotry, bias, prejudice, racism, and death in this country. Racism must be criminalized. This country has overstepped its boundaries by not following constitutional principles and is growing into something hideous like communism, where dictatorship indirectly becomes the norm, including establishing sub-laws to discriminate against black people. these people have normalized drinking of strong drink, harlotry, drugs of different kinds, sodomy, molestation, allowing people to be exonerated after committing criminality, and so much more. Just like just like they're normalizing those things, racism is being normalized to be accepted as an acceptable perspective, which means that we are living in prophetic utterance. That said that good will be called evil and evil will be called good. The scary thing is, it used to be that if your background had criminality and immoral behavior, you could not get into an office. But now they are letting criminals win elections. And it is because the people are immoral and unintelligent. So intelligent people don't bring criminals into an office. When you look at Trump's background, what you've seen and what you see is criminality. Even as a president, has committed criminality. He's disrespecting our laws. And the white people that are sitting back letting this happen as if they can't do anything about it, which does not surprise me, they're terrible people. And yes, and if they don't do nothing about it, he's going to keep on doing what he's doing, but it's bringing the integrity of this country down, and it is making us look mighty bad and unintelligent. Oh yeah. And so when you look at it, you find a lot of things going on in this country that should not be at all, because we are intelligent people. And I don't speak that for all of us, because some of us are intelligent, the rest of us are smart, but being smart don't make you intelligent. And so if you don't know how to interact with your neighbor, then you are heathen. That's what you are, America. So we look at the fact that they come up with voter suppression, and it is unconstitutional, and it must be criminalized. And so don't put people in jail who didn't know they wasn't registered and they voted. No, don't put them in jail. You put the voter suppressors in jail. Put them in jail. You gonna put somebody in jail that tried to vote twice. Well, you gonna let the politicians that suppress voting, you gonna let them do what they do and get away with it, and you're not gonna put them in jail? That makes you hypocrites, America. Judicial system, you are hypocrites. Congress, Senate, you are hypocrites. Oh yes. And so we look at the judicial system is compromised with unjust judges who make judgments based on personal conjecture, and they allow laws to be used out of context. How many times have we seen that? The incarceration system is racist and without balance, and is designed to make money instead of instituting rehabilitation to be a part of the process. See, we can really help these inmates, and yes, our brothers and sisters that have done wrong, just like these wicked presidents and these wicked politicians that have done wrong, and none of them go to jail. You hypocrites, you're phony. And so, yeah, we disown them, but we let these white politicians go who do what they do. You know, you're just crooked, that's all. From the mayor to the police department, racism is evident, okay? Police that are racist planning false evidence to keep the jail numbers high. And they're doing this, and they just falsely accusing people, falsely putting handcuffs on people, falsely tasing people and putting them in the jail. So, you know, if you are police and you provoke an individual, they're no different than you, policeman, policewoman. They're no different than you. You're going to provoke a person, and you think they're not going to respond, and they're grown-ups, and you're going to provoke them? Oh my God, you're wicked. You wicked American police. You're wicked. You don't supposed to be provoking anybody. The Bible even tells a father, don't provoke your son. The reason why God said that is because when you provoke your son to evil, he's going to do evil. And so whatever he do that's not right towards you, oh father, with your arrogant self, well, it's going to get him in more trouble because probably you're stronger, and he's going to attack you or speak rashly towards you, and you're not going to like it. So you're going to take it to another level. That's what these police are doing. They're provoking people, citizens. Look at this. And so white people are being talked down, but black innocent people are murdered, killed, or slaughtered. The police bring guns to a stick fight, and instead of tasing the person, they are killed. And so on and on and on. And so things like in this country, in a democracy, you get stuff like stand your ground law. Now, you know good and well, we didn't need a law to tell us we could stand our ground. We already know that. Somebody attacked me, and then I defend myself, and he won't bow down, and so I end up killing him. You can't put me in jail for that. So we didn't need a law, stand your ground law, to back us up or to support us, to exonerate us. We already have that natural law. Just some white person came up with that to exonerate white people who do the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person. And so just like Zimmerman killed Trayvon, he was exonerated. And the wicked judge allowed them to use, and of course he used and allowed that to be used indiscriminately. Trayvon was protecting himself against a vigilante. Yes, and this man was exonerated for killing him. He killed this man, had no right. The dispatcher told him, stand down, don't do anything to the boy, don't follow him. He did it on his own, kept on, and he killed the boy. And so, you know, that was him call himself protecting himself. See, you attack someone and they attack you back. Now, I'm supposed to have that law to support me because now he's attacking me and I have to defend myself. Well, now you attacking him and he has to defend himself. That argument goes on and on and on. But it wasn't made for you, Zimmerman. It wasn't made for you hypocrite, racist white people who want to hurt black people. It wasn't made for you. And so we shouldn't have that law because what it does is it puts discretion in the hands of ignorant people. Yes, it put discretion and decision-making in the hands of stupid, vile, and vigilante-type people. Yes, and then racist people. And so how on earth do you think they're going to have the intelligence to make the right choice, whether I should kill this man or not? So this is a grave moment in time, exposing white racist people and these lawmakers establishing stand your ground law. It doesn't help black people. It only have been helping white people. And for that matter, again, we don't need that law because we already know to protect ourselves. And the government already protects us when we defend ourselves. So we don't need that cheap law. So it goes on, stop and frisk law. You communistic bastards. Yes, a bastard is a child that is rejected. And you people are children of this country, and you are rejected by intelligent people because you just stupid, you're just bastards of this country because you don't follow common sense, you don't follow wisdom, you're not doing anything that's right. How on earth you going to stop somebody and frisk them. You acting like you a Russian. You acting like you're a Cuban. You acting like these communistic countries. We gonna lord over you. We gonna be a dictatorship. We do what we want. So we gonna stop and frisk you. See what's in your pockets, whether you innocent or guilty. That's evil. And so, yes, that other thing the wicked mayor had the police doing, going around, kissing people, men kissing men, and all this simple Simon idiotic mess that these people are doing. Listen, we're in a democracy, we have a constitution, and it doesn't support none of this foolishness. And so what's the next one? I feared for my life. You fear for your life. The man is running from you, but you shooting the innocent man. You shooting a criminal even in the back. They're trying to get away from your crazy self, and you shooting them in the back. Talking about some you fear for your life. Let me tell you, God sees your heart, you hypocrite. God sees you, and you are already judged. I don't have to judge you. I'm just telling you how God feels about it. You just simply evil as hell. That's right, and you got it all wrong. Our laws, all three of them are laws that have been established by white people in authority. All logistics are used as designated for white privilege, by which white people are given entitlement, undue honor, courtesy, exemption, immunity, benefit, advantage, and favor. Let's go on. Where in life do people who have no character or are liars win offices of integrity? And how is it that people who have money become important without having no political experience or a stable track record to even begin to desire the office of the presidency? Where does that happen? When does that happen in the world? It has happened. But for a democracy to do that, wow, you have taken all of this out of context. You have messed this country up with your foolishness, you racist white people, you arrogance. It's benign and cancerous. And so it says, it is obvious to me that this country, America, has lost its way and is settling for things that are unethical, unintelligent, and immoral. White people are a racist, who are racist should never be considered for a prestigious office of government, and people who have a immoral historical background are being considered and running for offices in spite of their ignorance. The other scary thing is when people vote for someone who has a dictatorship mentality, and that same person disrespects the Constitution and laws that governs our country. Looking at the history of Hitler of Germany, it shows us that racism, KKism, white nationalism, white supremacy, alt-rightism, and any other organization are coupled with prejudice, bigotry, bias, and segregation, in the which Black Americans are and have been oppressed, suppressed, and depressed by these dark entities in America. It is these extremist groups that have been destroying this country from within. People, if politics is evil, then we must disown it. If politics have changed into what is happening today in this country, then we must go back. If this has been the politics from the beginning, then we have been deceiving our own selves. It seems, yes, and it looks like, and from that point, it looks like to me they establish a democracy with a constitution, with another agenda. Check it out. And if you're not going to follow democracy and constitution, you are the devil that's going to take this country down eventually. And so, where am I? Yes, it is these extremist groups that have been destroying this country from within. People, if politics, I've read that, okay. Yeah, it seemed to me that white supremacy have been with us from the beginning till now, working its degradation, totalitarianism, totalitarianism. While we play democracy, the position of white supremacy is growing into something more hideous. When people can see racism and its effects on the people that are subjugated thereby and turn their face to the left as if such actions are moral, ethical, then yes, we are, and our democracy has been compromised. Yes, bear with me. Listen to this. They believe in Christianity and they say that they are Christians, but their actions are consistent with a person who wears a mask that have an agenda, in spite the reality of God's perspective on all things. God's word teaches love, respect, and equality, etc. But their agenda speaks of exclusion, segregation, and being dominant, and that without evidence. Democrat, watch this. I looked up these words. Democrat is one who practices social equality. Love that. When you look up, and yes, don't get it twisted, ignorant people. And they say, well, the Democrats were acting like the Republicans are acting now, and they were your people that was about money. What? Please, who cares? What was isn't now. What's happening now is what we're concerned about. That is neither here nor there. So yes, a Democrat is one who practices social equality. When you look up the word Republican, it says of relating to or favoring political democracy. See, democratic. See how that reads? You look up the word Democrat, it gives you a good definition. Practices social equality. You look up the word Republican, it takes you back to democracy. That there is some real funny exposure. You need to check that out because these people are real hypocrites. They think we fools don't know what's happening. It says of, relating to, okay. And so we have seen Republicans seek tax cuts for the rich, but Democrats seek tax cuts for the poor. From this study, it seems that the Republicans are following the Democrats. That's more funny exposure. Check that out. And so when I looked up the word Republican or Republic or Republican, it doesn't give you a clear definition of what they are about. But this is saying, of course, they're about what the Republicans are about. So they don't have a real harnessed definition for that word. That tells me they have another agenda. And as we can see, they sure does. Just look at Trump and the rest of these criminals that are in these high seats. When you look up the antonyms for the word Democrat, you find words that describe racist people. Watch this. Dictatorial, monarchical, which the word monarchy comes from, gives us that premise. Then tyrannical, the tyrants, autocratic, and despotic. I didn't get to look up that word, but I guarantee it's all the same. Related words are aristocratic, related, okay? Imperial, what that sound like? Racist people, okay? imperial, lordly. Okay, people lording. And God said in his word that the pastors should not lord over God's people. But guess what, people? These wicked pastors are leading God's sheep astray. And God said, woe be unto the pastors that lead my sheep astray. They some wicked pastors, and they're hirelings. They're greedy dogs, preaching the gospel, using it deceitfully, preaching to get gain. You wicked devils, wicked preachers. I don't care who you are. You think God got your back. When you do wrong, the prophet and the people, the kings and the priests, when they did wrong in the Old Testament, the prophets spoke against them. So if you don't like me speaking against you wicked pastors, too bad. I don't fear you. And God is on my side, not yours. You wicked devils. You're supposed to be following truth, but you following wickedness. You lying hirelings. And so I went on this to read on, and let me see, where was I? Of course, these words are related, and the related words, imperial, lordly, and this sounds just like racist white supremacy and white nationalism. And we just heard Trump say that he is a nationalism. Of course, he didn't say the word white because he's standing up there, white, okay? And so when he said nationalism, it caused the outcry because he told on himself again. Baby, listen, people, Trump told us that he was wicked. He showed us that he was wicked. He showed us that he was rebellious and stubborn. I'm not going to show you my taxes. I outsmarted the IRS. All of the other things that he has done, even now trying to put someone in the Attorney General, I think it is, who can't be there because the Senate didn't approve it. So he just keeps doing things that are wrong. And these weak Republicans, these weak people that follow Republicans, and these weak people that are following these racist white people, yeah, they're despicable also. And so they are the only people who has this nation offset and in confusion. So I went on to read some more of the Constitution, and it says, according to the United States Senate, the Constitution's first three words are we the people. See, this country is supposed to be supporting the people, serving the people, supposed to be establishing laws that protect us from the different agencies, lest they get highly and mighty and tyrant and want to do something wrong. We have a government that'll stop them. But it seems that all of the entities are infiltrated with white racist people, from the House of Representatives to the Supreme Court to the House of the Senators, the Congress. All of these different entities in our democracy have been infiltrated with white racist people. I love the truth. You can't do nothing against it because the truth is the truth, even if it's told in the dark. You can't do nothing about it. And so it says, affirm that the government of the United States exists to serve its citizens, not kill them. The police is killing black people. Okay? The police is putting us in jail and we are innocent. Judges are giving black people stiff sentences. That's wicked. Wicked judges. You had them in the Old Testament. Wicked judges. Yes. And so for over 2 centuries, the Constitution has remained in force because its framers wisely separated and balanced governmental powers to safeguard, love that, the interests of majority rule and minority rights of liberty and equality and of the federal and state governments. Yes, we are all protected, the high and low. But what's a trip here is safeguard the interests of majority rule. I want you to see this because that is not a reality in the United States. Because when you look at the 125 electoral votes who vote people in office that they want, we may be the majority voting someone in, but we don't get what we want if these racist white people don't want us to have it or don't want that person in there. They want who they want in there so they can dictate the consensus, right? That's what's going on. It is not a majority ruled in this country. The Constitution says it, but that's not what's happening because these wicked white people have to establish a premise to get who they want in there as opposed to who we want, who are the majority. See that? So it doesn't matter if we all come out to vote when it comes to presidency because they have this thing wrapped up with some foolish law of electoral votes. We need to get that law abandoned. Oh, yes. See this. Come on. Get this to somebody intelligent so they can bring it out better than me. Please, just look at this, my people. Thank you.